Hey girl, happy Thursday and welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. Today we're going to be diving right in to the number one way that maybe you're sabotaging your future. Maybe you're sabotaging yourself and your very best self because you keep doing this thing. Girl, we're talking about looking backwards. You aren't going backwards, you're going forwards. So I'm going to talk with you about 4 different things that we can truly dissect because you aren't going backwards. Yes, it's important to look back to see how far you've come, but I want you to be on the right path, the path that's going to create freedom from food and body controlling your everyday. And in order to do that, we have to stop looking backwards. Let's go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. Hey girl, welcome to the show and happy Thursday. Today is a very great topic. We are talking about looking forward and not looking backwards any longer, because that is going to be the number one way that you are going to stay stuck and sabotage all that you are trying to accomplish. And so today I want to talk about the only time in looking backward is to truly see how far that you've come. But for those of you who may be feeling like you just want a sign to get out of this never-ending cycle where food is crippling you and you don't know what to eat, you want to break free, you want to finally let go of disordered eating. But there's something inside of you that you are lingering to, that you're stuck to, that you feel trapped around. And the eating disorder brain is going to keep you there. Today, I want to talk about 4 different things that you can really be exploring to stop recreating the past right now in the present because you're looking in the rear view. If your focus is on the past of how much you've struggled, what you're focusing on is going to continue. Where your energy goes, your energy flows. And sister, if your energy is on reliving the past, you are going to continue to create that in your present and your future. And maybe you're feeling like right now that you just keep recreating this cycle in your life. This doesn't just happen by random. We recreate cycles in our life because we are not letting something go. The truth is that you can't take back the past, but you can fight for the present and you can completely change the trajectory of your future. When you surrender what can't be undone, you are going to allow freedom to commit to what your future self needs. And ultimately, you are going to allow yourself to create exactly what it is that you want that hasn't freaking happened yet. So if you're longing for the past, you can fuel that dissatisfaction. Or you can simply do these 4 things in this order. And today I'm going to walk you through those things. So I know that this can sound like you've heard this 100 times. Yes, I know I'm not supposed to be looking backwards. I get it. I'm not healing that way. But how do I do this? Give me some actions to take. Tell me what I need to do to propel forward. If this is you and you're looking for some steps, then today's show's for you. I'm going to give you 4 different things that you can be doing right now to embrace this process so that you can stop looking backwards because you are not healing and you are not hitting that way. Number 1, I want you to get really present and identify where you've been focusing. Girlfriend, we have got to get clear on where you have been placing your energy. Do you spend most of your waking hours in that negative self-talk? Are you consumed with how hard everything is? consumed with focusing on food, consumed with just everything is so tough and I don't know how to get out of this, your brain is wired to focus on and amplify what you focus on. And if you ever wonder why you buy a brand new car and then you see that color and that model everywhere, it's not because everyone all of a sudden just happens to get the same car you want. It's because your brain is searching for that thing. So what's really cool is that we can leverage this to our advantage, and you can be doing that right now. But you need to identify where you've been focusing and getting real. If you're not sitting down and you're not trying to change your thought dynamic around behaviors that are ongoing in your life that are keeping you in this place, then I want to challenge you today to get truly real with what you have been focusing on. If your energy is on what got you here and your daily current habits, then you are giving power to these exact things. There's so many different ways we can model this out and that I could kind of give you some examples, but it's easy to spot a yellow car when you're always thinking of a yellow car. And it's easy to spot opportunity when you're thinking about certain opportunities. And it's easy to find reasons to be mad at someone when you're thinking about being mad. And it's easy to become the very thing you don't want to become, i.e. eating disorder brain, overtaking your life because you're constantly thinking about it. So I want you to change this dynamic, and I want you to watch this dynamic play out this week in your life. Truly identify where you've been focusing. It's impossible to create the past if you stop revisiting it. So if your energy is on what got you here and your daily current habits that you are trying to escape from, then I want you to change your energy. I want you to change what you're giving power to. Number 2, give yourself some grace. And then we're just going to move on, okay? You have permission, love, to say goodbye. I want you to acknowledge that you've made mistakes in your life and that it's okay and this is part of your journey. I share about this in the show in prior episodes, so you'll hear me talk about it. But I talk about how my eating disorder, while it was the most painful experience of my life, it ultimately has made me into the person that I am today because I've been able to show up for myself and recreate my life and myself because I've been through this process, because I've had to strip who I truly was and that false sense of identity on what everyone else wanted me to be, including that voice inside my head, to get to a place of focus of where I wanted to be and where I was headed. And that truly is an awakening process. However, I had to give myself permission and forgive myself for making the choices I made along the journey while I was so deeply entrenched in eating disorder behaviors. It's okay to feel ashamed. It's okay to cry in the shower. It's okay to hate what you've done to your body. And it's okay to still not love your body. And it's okay, sister, to have a moment to embrace the fact that you're human and you deserve to give yourself grace because you have permission to free yourself from this. No one else has the power over your life but you. And if you do anything after listening to today's episode, I want you to give yourself some grace and I want you to move on. This has served a purpose for a purpose in your life. And now that purpose is done and you know better. And when you know better, you can do better. I want you to let it go. What is it that you need to let go of? Name it. What do you need to stop doing? We're not going to make life harder. We're not going to add on all these amazing different little habits that are going to create a better and more satisfying future for you. We're going to remove them. We're going to remove the negative habits that are keeping you here. Because when you can surrender what can't be undone, what's already occurred, then you can allow freedom to commit to what hasn't yet arrived. Number 3, shift your energy so that you can shift your outcome. We are going to shift your energy so that you can shift your focus. You are not a victim, okay? And we've got to get truly real with that. Things may have sucked in your childhood. Things may have sucked in your life. Maybe you've been through a very crazy upbringing. Maybe you've had really hard relationships. Maybe you always get the short end of the stick, but you are not that person anymore. You're here for a reason. I'm in your ear right now for a reason. And I truly believe that you have a purpose. And you cannot be living in the very best version of you into that purpose until you can shift your energy so that you can shift your outcome. You're not a victim, but if you keep acting like a victim, I want you to hear me. This may sting, but this is tough love because I love you, friend. If you keep acting like a victim, you're giving a powerful place to being a victim. You are giving power. You are giving power to the very thing that you are trying to escape. You are not a victim. But if you keep acting that way and you keep living under the rock and shame of everything that has happened, you're going to stay under the rock. What can you focus on today instead to get you to where you want to be tomorrow? Because if you keep going back to an event in your mind that has shaped you in the past, or maybe it was a belief that you've had for a really, really long time, i.e. thin equals better, I want you to know that what you can take from this event and reflect on is way more important in recreating the future state by totally letting it go than it is to sit in that wheelhouse of recreating the exact same spiral event in your life, in your mind, over and over and over. Well, if I had just been better, and if I had just done this, and I'm such a failure, and I wish I could have done this, and I should have done that, and I could have done this, and why did I do this, and how am I here, and I wish I could be there, and I wish I could be her. In order to create a new and uplifting future, we have to stop the mentality of the negative energy. Because what you focus on is what's going to grow in your life. And if you're sitting here focusing on negative things, how you're never going to recover from your eating disorder, then you're never going to recover. And if you sit here and you focus on, oh my gosh, I'm listening to this podcast right now and there's hope and healing for me, and I haven't found the magic recipe for that yet in my life, but I am so here for it. If that's your view, then I see you. You've got to give yourself the ability to shift your focus by shifting your energy. So how this plays out is I want you to think about, you know how I mentioned, like if you think about a yellow car, you're probably going to see a yellow car. I know this happened when I was pregnant. I felt like everyone around me was pregnant. I feel like everyone right now is like a boy mom. I don't know. It's constantly what you're thinking about. And that's just because I've got so much going on in my 9-year-old and my 5-year-old's life. Constantly what you're thinking about is what you're actually creating. This is why you can also feel like maybe you've been in debt for a bunch of years, but it's like all you're thinking about is how much money you do not have, and therefore you do not have any money. And I can go into a long episode about this because of different business strategies that I leverage in my coaching practice. However, when you can shift your energy, what that does is that creates the exact outcome you're looking for. And so what I want you to do today is I want you to focus, I want you to think about something that's going to help you do just that. What is one thing that you're desiring? What is one thing? Do you want to free yourself from the scale? Do you want to live a life where you're not consumed with counting calories? Do you want to live a life where you're not binging at night and purging later, or you're not taking a laxative, or you're not listening to the crazy of diet culture? Like, what's one thing right now that you can focus your energy on that's going to be positive for you? I want you to think about that today, and I want you to apply that, because where you focus your energy is where you're going to see the fruit. But you can't get good fruit by planting bad seeds. I want you, number 4, to embrace the journey. Sister, life has only one direction, and the courage to step forward gets you out of rear view syndrome. I'm going to say that again. The courage to step forward gets you out of rear view syndrome. What does that courage look like today? Maybe you've spent so much time carrying baggage and you've been having heaviness over your life and in your heart, and you're just tired. I hear you. But if we sit and we think about how much baggage we have and how tired we are, we're going to continue to create more baggage, and we're going to continue to become more overwhelmed and exhausted. But if we can apply and sit and think about what things we're grateful for and what we want to create in our life, like freedom from this debilitating disease, then we're going to be creating freedom from this debilitating disease. But my question for you today is, what do you need to do to do that exact same thing? Do you need to go to my website and fill out a client application? Do you need a handheld strategy with personalized coaching and support that's going to provide help and direction with holistic approaches that are proven? What is it that you need? Do you need to pick up the phone and call a sister, a friend, a loved one, and just share your story? Do you need to forgive someone? Maybe you need to forgive yourself. Girl, what would it look like to leave the suitcase behind? To drop the baggage off where it belongs, in the past. This is your life. And today, I want you to grant yourself permission to create your very best version of it. Sister, I love you, and I am so happy you're here. And I want you to stop looking backwards because you're not going backwards. And if you're ready to create the life that you so desperately want and envision in your heart, then let's stop sabotaging and going back to old patterns and behaviors that are no longer helping us. You only have that power. You are the one that has the key to unlock it and to create a future of your dreams. But first, you have to identify what you've been focusing on, and then you need to give yourself permission and grace to drop it. And then you need to shift your energy so that you can focus on something new and finally embrace the journey. Because sister friend, it's a journey. And while there may be ups and there may be downs, I promise you, this can be the best ride of your life. I hope this episode has blessed you today, friend, and I cannot wait to meet you. Come on over if you haven't yet to the Facebook community. You can find us at the link in the show notes, or you can go over to Hope and Healing for Eating Disorder Recovery. Girl, share this message with a friend. Share this podcast with someone in your life. And if you're a frequent listener, I would absolutely appreciate you times 1,000 if you could go rate and review the show on Apple Podcast, because that is how we get seen by more and more women that need to hear this message. I hope you truly have a great rest of your week. I want you to know that with all of my heart, my dream for you is that you stop looking backwards because you're not heading in that direction. I'll talk to you soon, girl. See you Monday. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.